Meet this week's local star. EL resident Jean Delaney is one of the contributing authors to the latest edition of Chicken Soup of the Soul, the story just ahead.
Plus, we have your recap on budget plans from the school committee and town council.
And later, find out what town department is now on social media. The details coming up.
Those stories and much more ahead on ELCAT News Update.
Thanks for tuning in to ELCAT News Update. I'm John Torsha.
And I'm Anthony Federici. We begin the show with a feel-good story. In honor of National Random Act of Kindness Day, EL resident Jean Delaney submitted a writing sample that was chosen to be published into the latest edition of Chicken Soup for the Soul, 101 Stories of Compassion, and paying it forward. Chicken Soup for the Soul is the world's most recognized storyteller. The series is based on true stories from contributors all around the globe. This recent edition received a record-breaking number of submissions, and we are pleased to announce that our very own Jean Delaney was chosen for her work.
I actually got started in this when my husband George Kingston and I retired, and we saw an advertisement in the reminder for Sylvia Rosen's creative writing class at the JCC. 1 week in early 2015, it was the fact that Chicken Soup for the Soul was looking for stories on random acts of kindness. Around Thanksgiving of 2016, I got an email from them saying that I was entering the semifinal round and could I sign these permission slips and confirm that it was a fact-based story, and it just proceeded rapidly from there until publication on February 7th.
The East Long Meadow Public Library also provides writing workshops like the one Delaney took part in. We asked what advice she would give to those interested in starting the class.
You can say you're a writer, you can say you want to be a writer, but what it really means is you have to put your butt in the chair and write. You get better by practicing. The other thing you need to do to be a good writer is read, and read all kinds of things. And that's where a library comes in to help, because you don't have to buy all these books. They're here.
Speaking of reading, Delaney's donation to the library will allow community members to read her story along with the other 100 narratives in the book.
And we are very happy for Jean and very excited to acknowledge her generosity in making sure that the library has a copy of her book. This is a fantastic way to both promote reading in the community and also to connect with our very active East Long Meadow residents.
Without revealing her entire passage, Delaney shares a quick insight.
My story is about what happened after we were in a multi-car pileup on Interstate 90 in Erie, Pennsylvania in a winter snowstorm. If you want to find out what happened next, then you have to get the book.
Again, you can find a copy at the library or purchase your own at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other leading bookstores.
Speaking of local stars, Robert Charles Photography is opening up a contest that could make you famous. Now until mid-May, RCP is looking to refresh their Holyoke Mall display with brand new portraits. Be the face of RCP and enter at robertcharlesphoto.com. The contest is open to high school seniors only. Those selected will receive a life-size portrait featured at the Holyoke Mall, free social media images, discounts on senior portraits, and a chance to be involved in RCP's upcoming Unify Against Bullying fashion show. If this isn't for you, there's also an option to nominate a friend. Practice your autographs and enter today.
Switching gears, we have a town board update. The health department is now on Facebook and Twitter. Social media is a fast and convenient way to get important messages out to the public. Stay informed on the most recent health updates through their new social media pages. Follow on Facebook at East Long Meadow Health Department and also on Twitter at eLongHealthDEPT. For daily health tips such as heart health, home safety plan, food cautions, and more, make sure to follow. Overall, the department's mission is to create regulations, policies, and provide services that allow residents to thrive within the community.
From town boards to town meetings, budget discussions were major key points in the latest school committee and town council meetings. Let's take a look at the February 27th school committee meeting.
In your packets, you have a revised capital projects list. The revision is, just as Mr. Fitzgerald was pointing out, is on the scenario with bonding. What it does is it takes the Meadowbrook roof project and adds in, if you remember, we didn't have the exterior renovation, which basically is the doors and windows, project in for this fiscal year. We had it in for next fiscal year. But since we're combining those in our application to the Mass School Building Authority, it made sense to put them into this prioritized list. It also made sense, and this was through direct discussion with the town manager and the town accountant, to break it out over 2 fiscal years, because the reality is you're not going to accomplish the feasibility study and design work and the full replacement in one fiscal year. So if we break it out, that gives the town the ability to approve, say, the $360,000 for the feasibility and design work for the roof repair, and the $381,000 for the feasibility study and the design work for the door and window replacement. Those are estimates based on the price for the entire project. Well, if you're going to approve the 360 and 381 in year 1, whether we get in the MSBA or not, then in year 2, you have all that design work done, you're going to approve the actual implementation of the full project.
Right.
The hope would be that we get called into the MSBA.
Right.
We already have the design work approved,
Right.
so we can move forward.
Right.
Because that's one of their big criteria,
Yep.
is that the town get behind the feasibility study and the design work.
Okay. So I move to approve the FY 2018 School Department Capital Projects as of 1/9/2017 as amended.
I'm gonna second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. That motion carries.
For further explanation, high school senior Jen Carlos sat down with School Superintendent Gordon Smith to learn more about the Mountain View Repair Project.
Recently, there has been a lot of confusion in regards to the accelerated program application to repair the windows, doors, and roof at Meadowbrook Elementary School, the high school core program, and everything in between. Here to shed some light on how the whole process works is Superintendent Gordon Smith.
The Massachusetts School Building Authority is a group, that obviously a governmental group, that was established to help towns and school districts deal with some of the incredibly costly capital projects that schools go through as their buildings age. And the idea is that they provide a certain amount of financial assistance so that buildings can be kept viable for students and allow students to have the best possible learning opportunities in those buildings. Every year you have to submit what they call a statement of interest, stating that you would be interested in doing a project. For us, the last 3 years it's been at East Longmeadow High School. And if you get invited into the Mass School Building Authority process, it really is a very structured and organized process. And as you go through that, decisions will be made as to what would be best for, in our case, East Longmeadow High School. Is that a comprehensive renovation? Is that a new building? Also, this year, have submitted a statement of interest in the accelerated repair program. And that's a different program than the core. And what that does is it specifically looks at roof projects, windows, doors, and boilers. In our case with Meadowbrook School, the roof now at about 23, 24 years old, what challenges are we seeing? We also included in that statement of interest the windows and doors, because Meadowbrook was built in 1969, and the windows and doors are all original to the building. So we'd love to get an accelerated repair project accepted through the Mass School Building Authority for Meadowbrook. Even though technically the 2 projects are competing, the nice thing is that the accelerated repair program is just that. It's a faster paced look at very specific projects, and they may be able to, Mass School Building Authority may be able to make a decision on whether they would invite East Longmeadow in as early as May, June, or July of this year.
To watch the entire interview, visit our YouTube page at ELCAT 01028 under the ELCAT News playlist. The next meeting we cover is the Tuesday, February 28th Town Council meeting. An impressive list of accomplishments was presented by EL Health Director Amy Petrosky. For the first time in East Longmeadow history, Board of Health members were appointed based on their public health experience rather than being elected. Members were sworn in on November 2nd, and since then the board has already created a positive impact on our community.
We've been able to successfully manage our town's first active case of TB in over 13 years. This is a very labor-intensive process. It includes case management, medicine evaluations, direct observe therapy, which is I go to the patient's home every day to watch them take their medicine, as well as coordination between family, doctors' follow-up visits, and the nurse who's helping us with the case. The health department has assumed responsibility of the town's recycling program. The contributions have already increased the refunds we'll be getting for our recycling services. We've completed all the mandated barn inspections and continually increased the level of compliance with the licensing of the dog owners and the dogs in town. Tom O'Connor does a fantastic job with that, and he has, and I have no doubt he will continue to do that. You're aware that we've held the flu clinic this year. The board has created and adopted multiple health regulations. We've created the fats, oils, and grease regulations, the sharps disposal program, which is pretty heavily used, as well as an update to our tobacco regulations. Some of the regional endeavors that we've pursued is we've received a regional grant to develop a mosquito control district. The district would allow us to do surveillance of the wetlands in town versus just the annual spraying that we have done previously. We've also received a grant to fund the assessment of our food safety program to make sure it comes into compliance with FDA standards.
Moving on with the meeting, Town Accountant Sarah Menard presents a fiscal year 2018 budget update.
It was asked to provide over the next 5 years what our debt would be paid off and to break it out by total debt, general fund, debt exclusions, water fund, sewer fund, CPA fund, and then the MWPAT, which is a combination project between water, sewer, and general fund. And you will notice that 2021 is when we make the last payments on one of the schools. And that then, therefore, in 2022, we have a big decrease by almost $1 million. But you will notice most of that is a debt exclusion.
Now it's time for our weekly segment, Library Learning, where we let you know what's happening at the East Long Meadow Public Library. First, the library's first ever seed swap was a huge success. Seed swap is exactly what it sounds like, residents swapping seeds to plant and grow different vegetables. Participants enjoyed an informational slideshow explaining the importance of saving seeds, storage directions, resources, and more. After the presentation, members collected and swapped seeds while mingling with others. Overall, a fun and educational event.
If you were inspired by our first story with contributing author Jean Delaney, then these two upcoming library events are for you. This is the perfect time to dive into writing. Drop into the popular ELPL Writers Group workshop led by local author Christina Us. Participants will engage in writing prompts and then share their work. The workshop is recommended for 13 years and older. Start your morning by writing in a relaxed and supportive atmosphere. Don't forget to bring your paper and pen on Saturday, March 11th at 10:30 a.m. in the library conference room.
Later on that same day, head back to the library for a creative writing workshop. Also, for 13 years and older, this program explores two literary genres, science fiction and fantasy. Participants will learn the fundamentals of fiction through reading, writing, and open discussion. Broaden your writing skills and take part on Saturday, March 11th at 1 p.m. in the library conference room.
Well, that will do it for the edition of ELCAT News Update. Be sure to stay connected with us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at ELCAT 01028.
And don't forget to watch us on cable channels 191, 192, and 193. For cable channel times, make sure to check out our ELCAT program guide. Guides are available at the Town Hall, Library, Senior Center, and through our website at eastlongmeadowma.gov. Also, check your mail as the programs will be delivered monthly within the reminder.
Until next time, I'm John Torsha.
And I'm Anthony Federici. Thanks for watching. See you next week.